adopt climate-friendly policies. Stahlbaumer remembers going to her first meeting 20 years ago to oppose the energy company Halliburton's Iraq war contracts.
When I presented the resolution, someone from the company held the mic in front of me so that he could pull it away if I said something they didn't want me to say.
The company didn't take the mic, but most shareholders did vote down the resolution. Halliburton sold its division that handled the military contracts in 2007. These resolutions are non-binding and few pass, but they can still build momentum around a given issue, says Sarah Hahn, a law professor at Washington University.
If you're corporate management and you see that 49%, 40%, 35% of your shareholders all want you to do something, you need to at least start thinking about that thing.
These days, Sister Barbara McCracken leads the monastery's shareholder activism. She flips through resolutions from the spring.
Netflix, well, their code of ethics is what that one is about. And then Tyson, of course, is the child labor audit is what we wanted. And Verizon is a big one, too. And we wanted lobbying disclosures, how they spend their money on lobbying.
Netflix says their code of ethics contains strong anti-discrimination protections and added that most shareholders opposed the non-resolution. NPR reached out to Tyson and Verizon as well, and neither responded.
And we don't want to, we're not trying to bankrupt the company or something. We want them to develop some kind of a social conscience, particularly regarding global issues, which includes then the environment, and then low-wage issues and racial justice issues.
For McCracken, it's a way to live out the principles of Catholic social teaching, which emphasizes the rights of workers and caring for God's creation. Michael Matheson Miller is a senior research fellow at the Acton Institute for the Study of Religion and Liberty, which argues for limited regulation of markets and companies. He agrees with many of the sisters' principles, but thinks shareholder resolutions can raise costs for consumers, and says they're often ineffective.
When you spend a lot of time into doing external work, it is a distraction from real ethics. It creates a place where people get pressured to kind of like, you have to support all of these groups just to be left alone.
Back in Atchison, chickens cluck on the monastery's grounds and insects buzz in its gardens. McCracken says these practices, like the shareholder activism, are efforts to invest in their ministry.
Because where are we going, and how do we live gospel values today in a radical way?
A question, she says, she'll spend her life trying to answer. For NPR News, I'm Rose Conlin in Atchison, Kansas.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News. Each week, a well-known guest draws a card from our deck and answers a big question about their life on NPR's Wild Card podcast. Mark Duplass is famous for playing Chip on The Morning Show and for writing and directing indie hits. He has 2 new projects out now, Out There, Crimes of the Paranormal on Hulu, and Penelope on Netflix. But despite his success, he told Wildcard host Rachel Martin that film wasn't always going to be the plan.
Pick 1, 2, or 3.
Give me number 2, please.
Number 2, okay. What was a moment in your life when you could have chosen a different path?
Okay. I am 27 years old. I am on a bus from Bangor, Maine to New York City by myself. I have just finished shooting The Puffy Chair, our first feature film, and I know it's going to be good. I really feel it. But at this point, I do not identify yet as a filmmaker. I am still a musician who's playing in indie rock bands, making $94 to $95 a night to split amongst 3 people. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not sustainable. I'm not going to be able to be an independent filmmaker, giving myself to that, an independent musician, be the brother I want to be to my brother, the son to my parents, the incoming husband I'm about to be to my girlfriend, now wife, Katie. Something's got to give. And I had stayed at my sister-in-law's house, who has this nice selection of books. And for some reason, I pick out The Bridges of Madison County. This is my choice. And I sob through the entire book. And there's this quote that says, "This type of certainty comes but once in a lifetime." And it really like hit me. It resonated with me. And I closed my eyes. And I said, you're going to make a choice. You're going to be a filmmaker or you're going to be a musician. And on that bus, I decided, even though music is my number one passion, and it's what I identify with most. I actually don't think I am good enough to be the artist I want to be as a musician, and I think this is going to destroy me. I need to give this thing up and go to this other place. And it weirdly felt inauthentic in some way.
Inauthentic.
Yes, inauthentic, because, musician's my passion, it's what I am. But it was the best choice I ever made, and I truly believe I am alive and on my feet because of it.
Do you still identify, like, when you think about who you are in your core, you're like, I'm a musician?
Every 12 to 18 months, some song will come on, and I'll just start uncontrollably sobbing. And it's a grieving process for the person that I thought I was going to be, and it's totally okay, because I have a wonderful life, and I love what I do, but it's a loss.
Just out of curiosity, what was the last song? Do you remember the last song that made you have that reaction?
In this case, it was one of the Taylor Swift songs off of the God, whatever the Black and White album was. There's Evermore and Folklore. It was off the Folklore album. And it was about the beautiful and terrific heartbreak of first love. And my daughter's 16, and she's, has a serious boyfriend, and they're going through it. And I was just thinking about her, listening to Taylor Swift while doing my elliptical machine workout and dropping tears in the gears.
I mean, Tay, she does that to all of us.
She gets me.
Mark Duplass is the producer of 2 new shows, Out There and Penelope. You can hear more from him by following the Wildcard podcast.
Support for Wildcard with Rachel Martin comes from Procter & Gamble, maker of Nervive. Nervive Nerve Relief is designed to reduce occasional nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort in hands or feet due to aging. Learn more at nervivehealth.com.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.
And you're listening on 90.9 WHYY, your NPR news station for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. It's 5:48. I'm Kenneth Burns with Joni Helton, asking you to make an investment in a community resource, the one that you're listening to right now. We have several ways for you to do that. The new WHYY Listen app. Upper right-hand corner yellow button with the heart on it says donate. You can also call 888-345-9499. That's 888-345-9499. You can also text the word donate to that same phone number, and we'll send you a link back. And you can also go to whyy.org/radio.
So we give you many, many ways for you to invest in your public media station, but you have to make the commitment to see the value in WHYY. If you are getting in your car and you're listening and we're already there, so you turn that key or you hit that button